In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Titty sprinkles.
Good morning. Good morning, Titty Sprinkles.
Yeah.
You know, I would be more apt to buy ice cream.
Maybe
fucking-
with titty sprinkles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Are the sprinkles shaped like titties,
Yes.
or is it an ice cream scoop with a nipple that has sprinkles on it?
Ooh. Hershey Kisses nipple.
No, because if you
Would
think
that
about
be
it,
a
if you've
titty
ever seen an
sprinkle?
ice cream scoop, right? Like you could just put
Just put a nab on there.
it. Yeah. So like when you scooped it, it would just, it's like a booby mold. And it just. So is it titty shaped ice cream
I think I would like a lot of
with
little
sprinkles
titties.
on it? Or is it just a scoop of ice cream with titty shaped sprinkles?
And would you still call them Jimmies?
Titty jimmies.
No, the Jimmy's are
Jimmies are chocolate.
That's
Yes.
That's
yes.
it.
I know that. You and I are from the part of the country that knows that.
Yes.
Everybody else is
that's
like
so-
chocolate sprinkles. What, you mean Jimmy's?
I don't know. So in order to call it titty sprinkles, I think the sprinkles would have to look like titties.
That's what I think too.
But I very much so like the idea of a titty shaped ice cream scoop. Yep.
Okay, but here's the deal.
Like a
'Cause then you
banana
can do,
split looks like
'cause
it's
you
titty
can pour
fucking.
like chocolate over it, and then the chocolate hardens, and then you have a chocolate booby.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Little magic shell titty.
Exactly.
I'm into that.
See?
Yeah.
Then you flip it upside down. That could be your bowl.
Well, if you do a banana split, it would look like it was getting titty fucked.
Careful.
Or a dick and balls.
No, it wouldn't.
It could
Would
go
you,
both ways.
would you eat that banana?
If you're based on the format
Banana
of
splits are fucking delicious.
Based
All
on
right?
the-
I don't
If
give a
it's
fuck.
set up like that.
based on the format of a banana split, that's gonna look like one titty with 2 cocks on it.
Mm.
We don't kink shame.
I'm just saying, like, if you were gonna have a titty split, then you'd need, instead of being like a banana that's split with ice cream in the middle of it, you'd have to be a titty split, and you'd have to have two booby shaped ice creams.
That's what I was thinking.
But
Like,
then it's just gonna look like a cock and balls.
not if it's directly in the middle. Like the titties would have to be in the middle. Because if
Yeah.
it's to one side,
you're saying
you're correct.
You're saying amidships is where the
Yeah.
banana would have to be.
Yeah, it'd have to lay straight in the middle.
Yeah, but think about it. When was the last time you were in like a Cold Stone? Do you think that 17-year-old is gonna like line that shit
He's
up right?
making it a dick.
You're getting a dick.
100%.
You're getting a dick. That's just gonna look like a dick with a mole.
That's like dick.
it's
Yeah, basically.
So anyways, back to the titty sprinkles conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so like we're going to my weird ass wedding here, and as of the publication of this episode in like a week.
Yep.
There will be titties everywhere. Like
Sure.
it's just
Yeah.
just this nature of the beast there.
Yep.
But if I walk up with a handful of fucking sprinkles and just throw them on some titties, what are those?
Do you yell titty sprinkles as you do it?
Yes.
But you need,
Come on, Mikey.
Then that's fair play.
What are we doing?
It's fair play.
No, I want to
So-
know what those are called. Are those not titty sprinkles?
Confectionery breasts? I don't know.
No, they are. No, but now here's the question. Here's the real question. I don't really care what they're called.
Could you call that a booby bomb?
It's like when you're making ribs. You need a binder. You need something to get that to stick. If you just walk up and you throw sprinkles at titties and you yell
it's
titty
just gonna
sprinkles and they just bounce off, it defeats the whole purpose of everything you just tried to do. So what's the binder?
Saliva.
No,
You go,
no.
Titty sprinkles.
I mean,
Hold on.
Maybe.
Hold on. There's enough bartenders at this table to figure it out. How do we turn this into a body shot?
To throw sprinkles at boobies.
Yeah, but we need some sort of binder. The titties need to be moist at some level to
Lemon-
get the
lemon
titties.
juice.
Oh,
No,
Lemon juice and
sprinkles.
Sweet and sour, man.
Fuck, what kind of bartender are you?
One that hated
Lemon
people.
juice.
One that
Because the
hates people.
sprinkles have to go on after the shot.
How about simple syrup? That's more enjoyable.
That's going to be really sticky.
No,
to
not
clean
if you
up.
don't clean up. You just got to do a good job cleaning up. the
Right, it's
sprinkles.
gotta be
Yeah.
thorough.
God, that is going to get in your beard.
Okay.
I think that's more of like a trophy than it is
true.
a problem.
Yeah. Is that hair gel? Like, simple syrup.
Yeah. Just sprinkles.
Just get some like razzmatazz or something in a spray bottle.
Sprinkles and glitter.
Spray it on their titties.
You could do it with like that birthday cake vodka.
Sure.
Yeah.
The thing is that
Pinnacle
the
whipped.
thing is that you'd have to do the shot first and then the sprinkles because you need the
You
need the
know what
moisture.
you gotta
added.
do? Ryobi makes one of those backpack weed
Yeah,
killers.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a 2-man gig. You got the sprinkles, I got the sprayer. And you just yell, Titty sprinkles, like, shh. And you throw the sprinkles and we're good to go.
And it's like antiquing. Just fucking
Yeah.
like you'd have to use powdered sugar if you're antiquing though. If you're antiquing titties.
Yeah. I knew I found the right woman though, because
Move.
there's a bunch of buttons that people wear at Ren Fair and it says like consent is sexy or like there's all sorts of phrases and shit that you can get. But I was like, I want a button. She was like, yeah, we're going to get one that says I'm getting married. Show me your tits. And I was like, you're a good woman.
No.
I'm getting one of those buttons too. Fuck. Like someday it might happen, but
Well, I'll make one that says I'm getting married. Show me your tits. And then I'll get all of you guys one that says my buddy's getting married. Show me your tits.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm into this.
But apparently there's going to be a maintained titty tally over the course of the weekend to
I'll
see
maintain titty tally.
see
Now,
how many pairs of tits I get.
How
to
does
save
one
during my
actually
wedding
count
weekend.
that though? Like, is that counted like
I don't. It's not. It's per set. It's not going to be per titty. It's one.
well, I say you go off nipple.
one hash mark per. Oh, it has to be full on because you'll see.
Yeah. Like it's got to be like, but I'm saying like if someone just pulls a titty out, that should count.
That's half a hash mark.
I like your math.
It's by
So
set.
so it's by set.
100% by set.
Okay. Yeah,
One titty could be an accident.
it's true. It's true. It could be it could be a wardrobe malfunction, an actual one there. It's very feasible.
I've seen it happen.
I'm fucking sure everybody who goes to Ren Fair has seen that happen.
Somebody sneezed and was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, that's a titty.
It's like, let me pour that back in there.
I'm going to be the guy that's just like, titty! Okay, look at that, titty!
I do gotta say, the pants that I got,
They're ridiculous, right?
they have ample room.
Yeah.
They are comfortable as shit.
Oh
dude.
my God.
What color are yours?
Black.
Mine are also black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get
Okay.
the high breeches?
I don't know.
So they're like tight around the calf, and then they're like MC Hammer style above.
Oh fuck yeah.
yeah.
Like if like the guys who like jumped into fucking World War II could wear these and their balls would have room.
yeah.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah.
There's so much room in those.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, if I know you have. You put on an Afghani man dress
Yeah,
before. Same principle.
Yeah. Actually, we were all there when I did last time.
Yeah. No, it was my man dress, but I wasn't there when you did it. He was there.
I was there.
Well, you were torturing him with a feather.
Well, we don't kink shame.
And you know, it's still comical to me that those pictures were too R-rated.
Yeah.
Those pictures were fucking great.
It doesn't
They were
send
amazing.
It doesn't send the right message. And I was like, no, I think this is.
Yeah, we fucking nailed it.
I think the message is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Those pictures were fucking money.
Mhm.
And you fucking nailed the part.
Well,
It was funny.
You're gonna be a Haji that's gonna be tortured with a feather.
During that meeting, they were like, we need someone who looks Arabic. And me and Jazz locked eyes. We were like, John, like in unison. We were like, got one.
It was not a long conversation.
We were like, yeah, we got that.
I remember that phone call too.
Hey,
So-
can I take pictures of me torturing you with a feather?
But you'd have to dress up like a terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm like, done.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
Not a hard sell.
Mm-mm.
I like it. You just did it in the corner of a fucking parking garage.
It couldn't have been a
looked
better
perfect.
place.
It was
No.
perfect.
It was so, the realism was fucking there.
The best part was the resident that came out while we were taking the pictures that just like looked over. It didn't say anything, just kind of shook their head and just like kept fucking walking. And I was like, yeah, that's about right.
What would have been funny is if like somebody would have took a picture of you doing that set and like submitted it to that IG page, the influencers in the wild.
I don't
That
think it was
would've been
around
good.
then, but
Oh, it was there.
It'd have been a great picture.
Oh, that was one of the first pages I followed on Instagram, man. It's been there forever. Those guys, they're doing God's work. Good old influencers in the wild.
Would have been pretty great.
Anyways, welcome to the Freedom Friends podcast, brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO, screw yourself that sweet 15% off. wellness.us for all those CBDs, treats and needs. Go to Freedom Friends 25. That'll get you a quarter off your order over there. And Ice Tech coolers for those who get it. Go to icetech.com and use that code Freedom Friends 10, get you 10% off. And check out grillyourassoff.com/Freedom Friends podcast. Get all the beautiful things to rub on your meat. It's delicious and it's awesome. And weirdly enough, thanks to Murph, we have an unofficial sponsor.
I think it was just a gift. I don't think it's a sponsor.
no.
I think it's a baby step in that direction. But Sailor Jerry sent us a fuck ton of booze. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I was going to figure out what to drink with Rob.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, because unless it's like Florida Cognac, in which case I
I drink that in a
would
Ross.
just drink it.
Yeah.
But,
it's
like
not.
it's it's Sailor Jerry.
Yeah, it's Sailor Jerry. Like, it's there to get you fucking hammered because it's, what is it, 100?
It's 92.
92?
93. 92.
Yeah.
92 proof.
Hmm.
They do make some fucking.
Because it used to be over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, because I used to keep a handle of it in my home bar. And
There's some
until
some rum drinks out there.
my neighbor puked all over the garage in Maryland, and I was like, "This is my fault for having this here."
Yeah.
It was her fault for trying to show off. She was trying to like impress Haley for some reason, and Haley was like, "Okay," like really, it was super weird. And then she just got fucking shithouse drunk and
I've never
bombed
been
in my
impressed by
garage.
anybody's ability to drink.
right.
I've been more impressed by people's ability to like be around people that are drinking. Just be like, I'm good with my one. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, or like Dave, who like straight hangs out with us.
Yeah.
While we're all getting shit faced, and
I don't know
he's
if
like,
it's straight, but yeah, he hangs out with us.
well, shades of gay. There's shades of gay there.
Shades of gay.
This is also unofficially brought to you by Dixon Flannel because it's the first day in Texas you're able to wear a flannel all day, and it looked like all of
It's
us.
45 degrees when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Right, dude? Yeah.
Yeah, my wife decided that
I'm wearing pants for Christ's sake.
she's
It's
the
weird.
She's the whitest of white girls. So she opened the door this morning to let the dog out. I was like, it's chilly. And then opened all the windows in the house.
It's too chilly for that.
And I'm like,
Give it another 15
The
degrees.
fuck? She was like, then she comes in, she was like, are you going to get out of bed? And I was like, no.
Not now.
Fucking freezing now. You
You
just froze the fucking house out. You're under this blanket. It is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's not going out
I'm
there.
good. I fucking like, I love the winter because it's cold.
Yeah.
And there's just something about sleeping in a fucking icebox, like a cold room.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
nice.
you know
yeah.
what I
man.
mean?
No, I'm here for
I
it.
sleep like a baby
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
like that, dude.
Like
It's the only way
camping.
I can sleep.
Like when I went up to Colorado elk hunting and I woke up and it's like 8 degrees out and I'm in a fucking bullshit tent from Walmart,
Yeah.
no heater. And I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like
Right?
it's so warm in my sleeping bag. I got a zero bag. It's so warm
Yeah.
in here right now. And
Sure.
like, but then you go to like start to get out and you're like,
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm going to stay in here a little bit longer.
What year did you join the Army?
2000.
So you guys were issued the before
The tent where two people have to be together to use it.
the shelter hat.
Yes.
There's that. But no, I was talking about the goose down green, and I know
The
you know what I'm
three-part?
talking about the
Yeah.
goose down green
Still
sleeping
have it.
bag.
Yep.
Right.
That thing's
Those things were
phenomenal.
amazing until they got wet.
Oh,
when they
then
got
they
wet, then they weighed
suck.
500 pounds.
I
But-
still have my full 3-part.
so
So I've
this
got
is
the
this is before the
Yeah.
3-part was a thing.
no,
This
I've got
was-
so mine's the goose down green,
okay.
and then I've got the silk liner for it, and then I have the bivy sack that goes on the outside of it that waterproofs it.
See,
You're talking about the black compression, which
before that,
right before that was the goose down one.
Yeah.
And I had that one, but there was 2 more parts to it that they just didn't give to anybody.
yeah. Well,
I never saw those.
by the time they got handed down to me,
Yeah,
bro,
there was
we
2 more
definitely
parts
didn't
to it.
have those.
So the other
Yeah.
2, there was a silk
I'm
liner.
pretty sure the one that Mikey used, I jerked off in like a dozen times.
There was a silk
Maybe.
liner.
The Army had
There
it.
was a silk liner for it that increased its heat, its cold weather rating or whatever to certain number. And then there was the bivy sack thing that was still in the BDU pattern that you could zip up around it that made it waterproof.
Yeah.
And
we didn't have those. We didn't have the bivy, but we had the fucking goose down. But I remember being in like SOI and like sleeping and waking up and like it's like a sheet of ice is over like because you all sleep in platoon formation. Right? Yeah. So like you're all next to each other and like, you know, it was the only time I was stoked I wasn't a squad leader because I was in the middle. I was like, oh, all right, this is dope. Until you had to piss. And then it was a problem. All right. But if you didn't have to pee, if you peed before bed like a good Marine, you were good. But you would wake up and there was like the thin sheet of ice over the entire like squad. And it was just like, I'm not getting out of this fucking thing. And the sergeant's yelling at you and you're like, you can go fuck yourself, man. Like,
you know how warm it is in here right now.
It's cold as shit out here and I am warm as fucking this thing. Like,
I remember using that thing a lot as just like a fucking, you just unzip it all the way. Just make it a fucking blanket.
Yeah.
When it wasn't like cold enough to fucking use it as a blanket. Made a great pillow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking pillow and a poncho liner.
You know what made a great pillow? A fucking K-pot.
Also true.
And not like on your head.
No.
Like a rock hard fucking helmet that's designed to have bullets not penetrate it.
It's the curve. You get your neck on it.
But it does. It's not like it has to be positioned a certain way either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like you throw your helmet on the ground, however it lands, you just put your head on it, and you're like, ah.
It's like the same. It's the same like idea behind that pillow cube.
Yeah.
You know, it like just fills this space well.
I think it's also just one of those.
Then
when you walk around for fucking 12 hours of it on your head, and then you get to get like a horizontal, and you don't have to even hold your own head up anymore. You're like, this is the most comfortable, hard thing.
Well, it's like a rucksack flop, right?
Oh yeah,
that's not that comfortable unless you've been carrying around that rucksack for half a day.
Yeah.
Then it is the most comfortable position in the entire world. But if you just like put a rucksack on and like, you know what? I used to be able to fall asleep like this, and you sit like that, and you're gonna be like, oh. What the fuck?
Yeah, but do a couple miles and then sit down. And you're gonna be like,
well, that's what I mean. You're like, this is so nice.
You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Of course, we're also at the age now where it's like, I got 8 hours of sleep, and then all your body parts are like, yeah, but you did it wrong.
You did it
right.
Like,
fuck.
And now my shoulder hurts for 4 days.
Yeah,
because I slept a certain way. Yeah, that shit hurts. So I mentioned that it's morning time. It's like before. Well, when we started, it was before 11. So we're having coffee. This isn't even this isn't even a booze podcast.
No,
which is a first for the Freedom Friends.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because there's at least one person drinking.
Usually, at least. Even when we all did Sober October, there was like always one of us who were like,
I was drinking this one.
Yeah.
Scott's not here today.
Yeah.
So that's because he'd have a cocktail.
Scott's hanging out with Murph, actually.
So he's probably drinking.
No, I think they're driving.
Yeah.
Well, he might be drinking.
But speaking of Murph, Basic Bitch, we put some of his Basic B pumpkin spice in my coffee. And I'm not mad at it.
You fucking basic bitch.
Dude, I'm not mad at this.
Basic as fuck. If I'm going to tell you right now, if there was a Dutch Bros between my house and here, I'd be drinking. They have a thing called the Golden Eagle.
There is one.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's a Dutch Bros.
But I'd have to go to Kitty Hawk and then come back. And I didn't want to
It's one exit off 1604.
Shut up, John.
It's not like it's less than an eighth of a mile off the exit, too.
Did you take 78
I'm
to
aware.
get here?
I took 78. I'd have to go past 78.
No, you get off Kitty Hawk, you go there, and then you just go the back way.
Just take Kitty Hawk to Pat Booker and pop out right here.
So I'd have to go past 78 to get to.
I guess you really don't want the Dutch Bros.
No. But if I had gone.
Or just stay on 604 and hit 35.
I'd have done a Golden Eagle, and they currently have a pumpkin pie soft top that they're putting on top of their coffee right now. And it's amazing.
Huh. Well, then. I don't know. I've never been a big pumpkin spice guy. This is actually the first one that I've enjoyed.
This isn't pumpkin spice that they put on there.
It's a pumpkin pie.
It's a pumpkin pie soft top.
Which is probably why I think I like Murph's stuff. Because it's not like a pumpkin spice. It's more like, it tastes more like pumpkin pie to me.
Yeah.
I think it's the powdered honey that did it. You know, like it's made it a little more bearable. But I don't know. I've been putting it in eggnog. So like, are you guys pro eggnog or anti eggnog?
I'm not an eggnog.
I am pro eggnog for 4 sips 1 day a year.
So you're an anti-eggnog guy.
No, I'm not anti-eggnog,
Right.
but I only drink literally 4 sips out of 1 drink 1 day a year. And that's about my limit on eggnog.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'll fucking take a half gallon. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-mm.
So there's 2 schools I've come to see. There's 2 schools of thought when it comes to eggnog. You either no fucking way or you like it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's like,
I'm on the no fucking way side.
yeah, and a lot of people are. Like, I was talking to Murph about this because I told him, I was like, yo, I put basic B in my eggnog and it was fucking delicious. Because I grew up with like nutmeg and cinnamon stuff. You put it in there, you stir it up, and you know, whatever. And I just tried this and I was like, well, motherfucker, it's awesome. Right. So if you are a pro eggnog person.
So do you drink eggnog all year round?
No, because it's not available in the stores until like October, man. I just finally got some.
So you drink it from as soon as it's available until
through the holidays. Yeah.
Just like you just
it's
go
like
to
a treat.
The fridge and you just pour a glass of eggnog.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
A lot.
Yeah, there's so much.
No, dude, it's good.
Like, do you do this before you put on your sock shoe?
It's usually an evening activity.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So this is after he takes his shoes off. Sock shoe.
Yeah.
Right, I got to be shoe socks
So how do you take your shoes off?
with my hands.
Thank you.
I don't actually. I use my feet. Unless they're boots. No, even with the boots, I use my feet.
Yeah, but do you do
I do left foot, right foot.
all at once or shoe, sock?
If I did them all at once, I'd have to levitate somehow.
No, I'm saying, do you like your left boot and then pull your left sock off,
No,
or your
I
right
do.
boot and you pull your right sock off?
It's one item at a time.
So it's shoes and then socks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's left shoe, right shoe,
okay.
and then socks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you do?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't think I've ever paid
Shoe
attention.
sock,
Actually,
shoe sock.
that would be. See, to me, that would be fucking weird.
What, big shoe sock? Because what happens if you get squirreled in the middle and you have a sock and a shoe on your right foot and a
whole
naked
fucking
left
set,
foot?
yeah.
I mean, I guess you just gotta fucking go back to bed, start your day over. I don't fucking know. It's like taking a shit
But
after
it's-
you shower.
That's like the same. That's
Wipe it
the
before
same
you poop.
question with doing the whole fucking sock shoe thing. So it's like, yeah. I mean, like, what if you're in that you put a sock, you put a shoe, and then like somebody breaks in your house, and now you're fucking like
I'm pogo sticking.
you just fuck-
I'm pogo sticking.
I'm a one-legged man in an ass-kicking
Yeah,
contest
you're
now.
fucking chasing everybody in circles. Just fucking-
Hey, I've shown you why I do it. I've demonstrated. You have a video of me demonstrating.
But no, I have a video of you showing me. It doesn't explain why. It's just you showing me how you put your socks and shoes on all fucked up.
But it's fast. It's efficient.
Okay.
Because the way my setup in my closet is that I'm standing up when I'm putting my socks and shoes on.
I see that maybe that's the deal because I'm not like I'm the whole like I go in my closet, I get whatever shoes I'm wearing for the day, and then I walk out to my bed.
Yep.
And
Sit on the side of
I
the
sit
bed.
on the side of my bed and I put my
socks
footwear on.
See, I do
Both
it all
socks.
standing up in the closet.
I also do that, but I put on my socks and then I put on my shoes like
yeah,
a normal
I mean, we
person.
get that the sequence, but I'm not gonna lie, I can understand if you're doing it all standing.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
See?
you're all kinds of fucked up, Justin.
No, if you're doing it standing,
Yeah.
that actually makes wait because at that
Because
point
it's
you
boop,
lift your
boop,
right foot and
boop,
it's
boop.
it's fucking
Yeah,
sock and
'cause
then shoe, and
'cause
then you
if
stand
not,
on your
like-
right foot, you lift your left foot,
That's
sock,
where-
and then
And that's my
okay.
point.
Like
That was a missing piece of
Yes.
information.
if you
I literally
video,
demonstrated it to him.
if you video
I'm gonna
Justin,
watch you putting your shoes on. Like I've got some weird kinks, but what the fuck?
if you
Like,
video Justin putting his
Oh,
socks
no.
and shoes on, standing in his closet, it's going to look like he's dancing by himself because he's just picking his feet up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It still doesn't make it the right way to do it.
standing in your closet looking like you're doing a slow-mo version of that fucking Cossack dance.
Hey, I don't want people to think that we like these.
Dun,
So these should
dun.
go.
Oh, you should try them.
No. I'm all set. Thanks.
Oh, you know what? There's something that Mikey and I were texting over the weekend.
Uh-oh.
And where the fuck was it? There we go. I got a question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What outer space movie came out in 1992?
I know, and I'm not saying it. Google it real quick. Not you.
I've
Don't you dare put that on the screen.
Oh, I'm
I've
aware
done
of what
this.
it is.
Yeah, I know.
Am
this.
I the only one that didn't know about this until this past weekend?
Yeah.
Probably.
What the fuck?
It was years ago that I was running around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It
crazy.
was,
Since
it was a
92.
meme.
Since 92.
Yeah.
Really?
It's been going
It was a
around.
meme.
Yeah.
It was people going, Google space movie released in 1992.
I saw a TikTok stitch,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy who stitched it, his reaction alone, I was like, I got to look this up.
It's one of those,
I looked
like,
it up and I
as
was
soon
like,
as you see the
oh.
title, you're just like,
I didn't get
like,
past the the name of the movie.
but there's a scene from it, I think, on YouTube.
That's an actual movie?
It's an actual
sci-fi.
movie.
Yeah, it's an actual
What the
movie.
fuck?
Yeah.
And there's a scene from it that you can go watch.
How
But,
is that? Wow. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, on a list of things that you could not do in 2023, making that movie is right at the fucking top.
Well, you also you can't do fucking. There's so many movies that couldn't get made now.
You couldn't remake Mean Girls.
You couldn't remake Tropic Thunder.
No
You
fucking
couldn't
way.
remake it, like,
Like,
What about White Chicks? Do you think you
No.
could get away with that?
absolutely not.
people like bitching too much now.
Why do you think we haven't gotten the Clump 7?
This,
like clumps. That's fucking great. Holy fuck. Clump 7. They made way too many of those, man. Like,
so
what the fuck, Eddie?
did you know that movie that came out in 1992 had a total budget of 3.9 Danish krones, and all of it went to the barber for hairstyles.
That is the definition of a no-budget indie film.
That's fucking great. That's really great.
Wow. Yeah. You didn't comment about my steak or Dave's steak last night.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a dick and balls.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all balls.
Meat and taters.
Caitlin made me fucking pork schnitzel last night.
Oh.
It fucked.
Ah, I
Yeah.
fuck with pork schnitzel.
It was pork schnitzel with like the mushroom gravy and then the fucking,
Not a baby.
you know, those like weird wild carrots?
Yeah. Like the purple ones.
It was like purple and white and
Mhm.
yeah, like those, but they were seasoned to all hell, so I didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Little baby potatoes.
I made
And
shepherd's pie.
So she made me all of that and then
This
brought me a
weekend.
whiskey sour and was like, here's your dinner. And I was like, fucking
Awesome.
Jesus.
There's a reason you're putting a ring on it, my friend.
Like, it,
Yeah, I made shepherd's pie. I think last, what was that? Thursday or Friday? It was fucking good.
shepherd's pie is great.
Mhm.
It's just a comfort food, man. It's just
Caitlin will make it periodically and she just makes it in like a fucking, like a casserole dish
Mhm.
instead of like making individual.
Yeah.
And you just fucking spoon the shit into a bowl. And
Yeah.
it's just like
slice it up. Fucking it's all good. Yeah, I do the same. You know?
super
And
good.
I'm not using lamb. I'm just using like ground beef.
I saw a fucking TikTok the other day though for apparently we're all hungry.
Yeah, I've not eaten today.
But I almost sent it to you and was like, you want to get together and do some day drinking? Because it was 40-layer lasagna.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, if we're gonna do it, we'll do it proper, and we'll like, because you need like all of your pasta has to be wafer thin, like
Wafer.
wafer thin.
Okay.
And so you do it all, and then you flash cook it all for like 30 seconds in boiling water, and then you start layering it out, and it's so when you cut it, it is 40-layer lasagna. And I was like, this would be some prep work, and I don't think I'd want to do it. Like I'd have to do it with somebody else that likes to cook.
Yeah, but that fucking
Because you'd have to have
lasagna
stations
pizza,
for it and
Oh,
be
yeah,
like,
that's not a-
that's not a
yeah.
solo gig.
that
but
lasagna pizza that you make though,
yeah, that shit's
that would fuck with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's just go down. Let's make this food episode.
Okay.
First off, my lasagna pizza is amazing.
That is.
Yeah.
There was
yeah.
Scott and I actually. I'll be going out there again in November. out to Tupelo, Mississippi for Spring Street Cigar event. And we went to this Italian restaurant right on the main drag in Tupelo, down the street from Spring Street Cigars. And they called them Italian nachos.
I'm in.
And
keep going.
I don't even know if I need more explanation. Like,
let me, you know what?
I'll just pasta chips.
Pretty much. It was. And so I saw this.
Fuck with that.
And I was like, okay, I have to order. Like I told Scott, I'm like, I have to get this. And he says like, what? And I'm like, I have to. Like, you can't not get this. And he's like, okay, so we got that. And we also got entrees. Did not need the fucking entrees.
Italian nachos fucked you up.
Oh my God.
Well, the first word in it, Italian, you ever go to an Italian person's home for dinner? Like, you're not leaving hungry.
No.
That's for goddamn sure.
Speaking of which, you have a Costco membership, right?
I do.
So they just got in it's 3 salami chubs like in a bag, but it's coarse ground Rustico, a fine ground, the spicy, but I can't remember what the fuck the Italian is for spicy.
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 You just say it, but you just do this.
You got to do the hand.
Yeah.
and then just like a normal, like sopressata salami. So we got that and sliced it up last night.
Big fan of sopressata.
With just some cheese and shit. That was the appetizer before she...
Little charcuterie.
And, oh my God. I was like, how much of this chub is left? And she's like, I was like, because you could just not feed me. Like, you could just bring me the rest of...
Yeah, just eat that.
I'll just...
Yeah.
It's like a huge Slim Jim.
Jazz called me a little while ago and I didn't answer because I was doing something very important. I was bringing in groceries. And
it's one or nothing.
It's one trip or you're a fucking failure, right?
Yeah,
so I was in the middle of one tripping and I was holding everything in my right hand and on my watch, I looked at my watch. I was like, fuck, Jazz is calling me. I was like, he'll understand.
Okay, then I called you back and you answered and I was like, it was one trip groceries. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck.
Like, yeah. But I bought one of the things I got was spaghetti because I want to do this spaghetti grilled cheese thing.
Yeah.
Where you make like garlic bread and then put like you make spaghetti, then the next day you cut a square out of the spaghetti. Like I'm going to put it in a fucking
you got to refrigerate
casserole dish, refrigerated so that it solidifies. And then I'm going to fucking cut that out and put it in the middle of 2 garlic bread with cheese.
That reminds me when a couple years ago, Olive Garden was like trying to up their lunch business.
Yeah.
They started doing those sandwiches. So they had a meatball marinara sub, but it was on a giant Olive Garden breadstick.
Oh, I remember that.
So it was like a triple sized breadstick. And then they just cut that shit like a hoagie and they also had a chicken parm version of it.
Yes. Which I think I liked them both, but I think
the chicken parm was better.
Was my favorite. Yeah. I definitely ate them both. Because you know me and Olive Garden.
Yeah.
When you're here, your family.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find those Italian nachos on their menu.
Are you still searching for those fucking nachos?
They're fucking...
It's important. It's Italian nachos.
Their shit's not... I just want to give you the ingredients that are in it because it was that fucking good. But their shit's all fucked up and I can't find it. But anyways, it was phenomenal.
Justin, you got us a new TV.
We did. We got a new TV set up, boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a TV.
Fucking that.
Yeah.
Now you can do fingers. Do finger stuff.
Yeah, I called John the other day. And I was like, hey, buddy, I got a weird request. And he was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, can I borrow your smoker for like 2 hours? He was like,
you gotta make bacon.
He was like, yeah, I guess. And he was like, why? And I was like, it's the last step of making bacon. And he was like, oh, fuck yeah. You can come use the fucking.
I was like, I might not be there, but I'll let you know how to get in and to use it if you're making bacon.
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to make 20 pounds of bacon to take to the wedding. I told that to another friend of mine. He was like, fuck, that's a lot of bacon. I was like, we have like 30 people camping and we're there for 4 days. Like,
yeah, I'm
actually worried I'm not taking enough bacon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to bring cooking wise. Because I got that stove in the tent. Yeah, I can use that as a cooktop. And then I'm bringing my solo stove, which I don't have the cooktop attachment for.
Yeah,
but it's a fire.
And then I'm bringing my electric Blackstone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have the old school grill. Like
I have
old
a
school.
propane grill and flat top.
We have
that
one of
I'm
the
bringing.
combos.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a camping one. It pops
So
up and
we
whatever.
were kind of discussing it, and we were thinking, with the ability of what we have the ability to cook while we're out there,
Mhm.
is it's like, do we want to do camp food just like on an elevated level? It's
I just say we eat breakfast every meal.
so do like you can do like the whole like sausage and potatoes thing, but we could do it as like a legitimate fucking
Yeah, like it tastes
dish.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, because with all those cooktops, like we could actually
We can do-
there's
we can do
potable
so
water
much
out
shit.
there. We can do all that. So like we could boil water, we could do pasta, we could do sausage and potatoes, and then do like a pasta toss with a butter sauce and it's like it's camp food, sorta.
Like I kind of
Just
want to do
really good camp
I
food.
kind
Yeah.
of want to do tacos one night. Like
Fuck
bring
yeah,
some
dude.
game, like ground stuff that I have, and then just
Mhm.
make fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want to cook for 30. Like I don't have the ability to cook for 30 people. I cook for like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I don't have my big Blackstone, but the griddle is like a 16-inch griddle.
Well, I'm
you know?
taking
I can
I'm
fit-
taking a 22-inch Blackstone.
Okay. Blow up
But
the
yeah,
game
I'm
plan
not.
and menu.
I'm not rolling the big one out there.
No. I thought about it.
I don't like
but I'd have
rolling
to-
that thing around
You know
my
what I
back
should do?
patio.
I'd have to take
remember-
it apart.
Do you remember
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Do you remember those venison sausages that I had? Those fucking the ones like I used to make bangers and mashed and stuff.
Yeah.
I still have a fuck ton of those.
Yeah, dude.
That would be really
kind of
good for that.
But if
Yeah.
we did that, but see, we could do like venison sausage wraps
Yeah, just grab
and then
tortillas and
and take onions and stuff, slice the onions. We could saute it all on the flat top, and then a little bit of spicy ground mustard
Like, how
and all
many-
this stuff. And
how many people would we be feeding at once?
like
Is it the inner circle group or is it everybody that's going to be there?
I think literally in our campsite, I think it's somewhere between 20 and 30 people camping for
See,
the
I don't-
weekend.
I don't have that much. But if it was like you and Caitlin
We are
and
also-
you and Mal and
now,
me and
we are
Haley
also-
and Justin and
We are also
Abby,
telling
like,
people
I'd
to
be like, all right, cool.
like, hey, whatever you want to bring, I'll bring cooking surfaces, but whatever you want to bring to cook, like you can bring it and you
I
can cook
used
it.
when I was in Arizona, I used to host barbecues, and it was BYOS, bring your own shit.
Yeah.
I have the house, I have the backyard, I get some random beers, but whatever you want to eat or cook, bring it. Whatever you want to drink, bring it. And it worked out amazing. Like the first couple of times, it was a little weird, but like the third or fourth like get together, we'd have like 15, 20 people show up, and everyone would bring their own shit, and you just
Yeah.
fire the grill up, and people would cook as they want to. It was fucking sweet.
Well, that's why we're trying to get people to chime in on that Facebook group that we made on like, hey, what are you bringing?
Yeah.
But we should probably make a post like that. That's like, look, here's the deal. Between like kind of the core group, we're bringing like the ability to like
the ability to cook.
you can cook on these surfaces, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's bring your own shit. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna you need to bring stuff to do. And it doesn't necessarily need to be enough to feed everybody.
No,
You don't have
just
to do it all
yourself.
potluck style. Or if you do it like that, that's kind of the joy of potlucks is that like you need to bring enough for like 5 to 10 people.
Yeah.
But when 20 people do that,
Yeah.
then
Then you got a fuckload of food.
you got a fuckload of food. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I don't know that, like, I can't tell what the weather's going to be that weekend yet,
yeah, it's too far out still.
but I was thinking about making a thing of chili
Fuck yeah.
and then just like putting it on the fucking the stove. And so it's always warm. So whenever I'm hungry, I just go
Just
in
go
and get a
stir it and get us
spoonful
some
of chili.
fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, I could
I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm
I'm
thinking-
I could do a crock pot.
gonna go get me
chili.
one of those. I'm gonna
And
go
just
get me
leave
one
it.
of those ceramic.
I have a Dutch oven.
No, the blue ceramic like coffee mug bowl things.
Oh, I
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
love those
just
things.
just for that.
Yeah.
Just so I can be like,
That tracks. Just go get a canteen cup. Just an old school canteen
yeah,
cup.
I love those that blue ceramic ware stuff. I almost bought a set the
Dude, I
other day.
love that shit. I think it looks classic.
I almost
Like-
bought a set the other day. Fucking Walmart, dude.
Yeah.
It was like
Yep.
it's like $30 for a 4-place setting of all the ceramic stuff, and I was like, I don't need it,
but I want it.
but I want it.
Yeah, right?
It's like I have a Stanley thermos, like a green.
I have a 5-gallon jug.
It like, but I have a Stanley thermos, like a green Stanley thermos with like the screw off lid.
coffee one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
thought you meant like the
Like
water
the old,
ones.
like the old, you have
No.
like the old school.
Like the old
Yeah,
school
yeah, yeah.
just says
Yep.
Stanley, the green tube chrome top and bottom with the screw off lid and the
Yep.
Yeah.
shitty
And
handle
you
on the
put
side
coffee
of
in
it.
the morning and at 5 p.m. it still burns your mouth.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have one of those. Like,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But
No, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the actual like fair or just camping.
You're
for
gonna
the
have
weekend.
a blast.
I think just the camping with the crew that's going is gonna be fun.
Well, like I don't
Yeah.
remember the last
It's
time,
it's a good circle
It's gonna be fun.
but I don't remember the last time I went camping
where there
without-
wasn't work involved.
without something to do.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of times I was camping, I was elk hunting in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to enjoy the camping because I'm walking 15 to 20 miles a day
I don't-
and thousands of feet in elevation
Yeah.
change.
like
you know?
I'm sleeping in a car, so I don't think
Yeah,
is
and
it
that's what's
camping?
no.
It's
So
not.
and that's what's going to be great about this is that the circle that's going to be there, and once we get camp set, it's literally where's everybody's humidor, where's the booze,
Yeah.
like hope you brought a chair.
Yeah,
It's-
right.
I
like-
ordered chairs
Yeah.
for this weekend. The
I mean, this-
rockers, the ones. that-
Yeah, this is literally one of those, and then we'll wander into fair day of when we feel like it.
Yeah.
And then when it's done, we'll wander around fair. One of the bars is already expecting me and kind of my circle to show up and have a drink and a cigar and stuff before the wedding. Like they already know we're coming.
Yeah.
But then we'll hang out in the rest of it. We'll go watch some people beat the fuck out of each other with swords. And then,
Do they do jousting?
yeah,
Yes.
they do jousting. They do real steel combat. Last time I went and watched real steel, they actually had to this dude that was 6'8", 300.
It's just the mountain.
They,
It was
yeah,
he was the
kind
mountain.
of. And he was in full plate, and somebody fucking caught him on the side of his helmet with like a fucking like a mace, like just a stick with a steel ball on the end of it, and it literally rung his bell. I mean, there was probably 1,000 people in the auditorium, and you just hear this ding, and and we were like, and that dude just kind of fell to one knee, and they had to carry him out.
That's a whole lot of man to carry.
Yeah, so he's a big dude, really nice.
It's a
But-
David and Goliath.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned Walmart a minute ago,
Uh-huh.
and I told you guys I got a bit of a rant before the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Walmart greeters, right? Like, first of all,
Wait, original greeters or these new ones?
Yeah, because back in the day they were great.
well, so the ones at the Walmart I go to are still great.
No, they're not.
They're
Because when you
sweet old
walk
men.
out, they're like, "Sir, I need to see your receipt." It's like, "Fuck you, bitch!
So that's where I'm getting at.
You think I'm stealing from Walmart?"
Right. I don't like the fact that an old man calls me a thief every time or accuses me of being a thief every time I'm trying to leave a store. Like, it bugs the shit out of me, right? And these are two of the greatest dudes ever, all right? Like, my man, Mr. Hugh, and his buddy are like the two sweetest old dudes, like Korea War era
Yeah.
veterans. They're fucking awesome.
Mr. Hugh, which side was he on?
Well, he's an old black dude, so I'm assuming ours.
Okay.
His first name is Hugh. If his last name was that, I can understand that. But like, I don't like the fact that I get accused of fucking stealing, and it's Walmart's fucking fault because it's like, look, man, I purchased these items and I don't use self-checkout. All right. I don't use it because I don't fucking work there. All right. I don't work there.
But if you use self-checkout, you can use their break room.
That should be the fucking case, right? Like, I don't use the self-checkout. I go through the fucking line. So like, my shit gets verified by that cashier. And unless I learned fucking close up magic between that cashier and the door, I'm not slipping shit into my cart on the way out, right? Now, self-checkout, you have somebody checking that, totally understand that, all right? People are fucking shady, but don't put them at the door, put them at the end of self-checkout and have them check it before they leave, right? Don't fucking rope me into that shit. I didn't use the self-checkout.
Yeah.
You know, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't work there. I don't want to work there, so I don't use it. And because of that, I don't feel that I have to. So I've gotten to the point where I hold my receipt in my hand. And when they're like, "Can I see your receipt?" I'm just like, "Here you go." And I keep fucking walking. And I'm just like, "Here you go, sir." And I just keep walking because I'm tired of getting fucking made to feel like I'm shady. And it's like, look, dude, I just spent a ridiculous amount of money here because groceries are fucking outrageous right now. You know, like, so on average, you're spending $200 a fucking trip.
I went to HEB
And it's
last
like,
night,
dude,
and spent $107.
you 6 items.
And I got the steak that you saw. I got 3 ribeyes, some non-alcoholic beverages, sandwich meat and cheese, 2 things of distilled water because I'm old and I have a CPAP, And I think that might be it. Like, I didn't get a lot of shit. It was a fucking $107. And I was just like, what the fuck?
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like,
insane.
Yeah, inflation's a bitch right now.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about the elephant in the room at all? Or are we just going to let that go until somebody actually like goes to war?
Talking about World War III?
Yeah.
Oh, I brought it up a little bit last episode. Nothing. I mean, it's still fucked up. Everything that's going on over there's fucked up. But
did I tell you my cousin was over there?
No.
Yeah. So I think I told you about this. My cousin married a dude from Israel.
Yeah.
She converted religions, and they had their wedding.
She converted to Orthodox Judaism, right?
Yeah, like
ortho. Yeah,
like Hasidic Jew almost.
Yeah.
And so they went over there before all this shit happened, just because, like, he has family there.
Right. We'll go introduce you to everybody. See the Holy Land. It'll be great.
He's a doctor.
Let's go nod at this wall.
He's like, yeah. I don't want to go into too much detail because it is what it is. But so they were over there before all this shit happened, and they were just hanging out, whatever, visiting a family, doing whatever they need to do, and then all this shit happened, and they could barely get out. Like, it was nuts. So they finally got out. They're back in the States now, finally.
Oh, that's good.
But it's interesting to see, coming from our backgrounds, where like we've seen some of the worst evil in the world, to like my cousin, who is this young, innocent, like never seen the evil the world has to fucking offer, that just got thrown into the fucking middle of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and then, seeing it on the evil that's being conducted over there is it's wild. And a lot of it comes down to, if you don't understand the operational standards for not just Hamas, but Hezbollah as well, like both of those groups. And you need to keep in mind, these are state-sponsored terrorist organizations. Like
100%.
They, like with charters. These are not like, it's just a group of people.
Organized.
Like Hamas, I think, wrote its charter in like 88 or 89. Like they have stated
the three no's.
Purposes of it. Like, I mean, like this extremely organized, extremely structured.
Sure.
But they hide all of their weapon caches in heavily populated areas, and they're heavily populated civilian areas. And they do it on purpose so that you cannot do military strikes without taking out non-combatants.
Yep.
That also gives them a built-in human shield when street fighting starts.
Yep.
So it's, you were not talking about, and so my concern with this is, and people are doing the whole like, well, there'll be Article 5 and da-da-da-da. It won't. Nobody's actually attacked a NATO country. And there's been no... Like, that's the problem. There hasn't been a state, a political state that has attacked a NATO country. So you can't invoke Article 5. So that ties a lot of hands. We could solve this, but again, it's a structure issue, and we can't solve it without the collateral damage that would also make us the aggressor against a sovereign state that isn't technically doing it. And so,
talk about Gaza.
Yeah.
Well,
like, we can't, if we go in and take out, but let's just forget the rescue mission. Like, let's just assume we're going to fuck that up again. Not to be Debbie Downer, but we kind of have a track record.
We're better at killing than saving.
Oh, we could go get them.
Oh, yeah.
We could go get them. Problem is the way we do it, that would be U.S. aggression onto a sovereign state, which makes us starting the war, and we don't.
Is it on a sovereign state, though?
So, kind of.
Sort of.
It's weird. And it's weird because of the ties that Palestine or Gaza, whatever you want to call it, has with
Iran.
Essentially, you have this tiny little dot in the middle of all of the Arab nations in the world. And you have all these people that right now, they're just talking about humanitarian shit. And, there's 2 million people that are stuck. And, Israel cut off the water, power, and electricity, and everything, and food supply. And what about these people? And blah blah. Like
Egypt is right there.
There's 30-something Arab nations, that could take care of their own people that are trapped in Gaza.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and not
Egypt's right there.
single one of them has said anything except for, "Hey, Israel, you shouldn't do anything. Let Hamas attack you. Let a terrorist organization attack you. Don't do anything back, and let these people just do whatever they want."
This isn't just a regular attack, man. Like, this is like per capita, like 6 9/11s in one day.
Yeah, it was the equivalent of if the equivalent numbers wise in the United States, it was roughly about 45,000 people in the United States had to perish in one day.
Yeah,
so like 9/11, we had 3,000.
Yep.
Imagine more than tenfold of that.
It would essentially
45,000 people. A small city just disappeared.
Yeah, that's what it would be. It would be like if they just took out shirts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like it's like, no, dude. Mm-hmm. This warrants a response.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, well, there's innocent civilians there. You mean innocent civilians that put Hamas in power?
Yeah,
they're the ones that voted these fuckers in. They were like, we want those guys to represent us on the stage.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. You're not fucking innocent when you fucking put a terrorist organization in charge of your country, even though you're not technically a country.
Yeah.
You know, like in front of your group. Like, well, I'm sorry, man. Like, you're not innocent at that point.
Yeah.
You're complicit.
And it's like the world stage right now is trying to use public opinion to decide how Israel should react. And it's like, you know how Israel should react? They need to do whatever they decide they need to do.
Yep.
Which
they are.
There's been a lot out there that, and people are like, you know, well, is the size of Israel, whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, don't push them.
No.
Don't. Yeah. Pick up a book and just Google the 6-Day War.
Yeah.
Don't fucking push those guys.
Don't push them. And the thing is that this is a nation that has always, if they can, they will always take the peaceful route.
100%.
And they've
lost land because of it. They've lost cities. They've lost like over and over and over and over again. And they will always sue for peace. And like Hamas right now could go, okay, this is getting a little scary. We fucked up. Do you want to talk about it? And I guarantee you the Israelis would still go, yeah okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
They don't want to fight. And you should be really scared of the people that have their capabilities and don't want to fight. That's a very scary, scary person.
Fucking A.
Like, what's that phrase? A peaceful man is only peaceful because he understands how to commit violence.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's kind of them. Like when they're always willing to go like, there's a peaceful route. It's because they understand violence on a level that you only think you understand.
Yep.
And what you have is a bunch of cowardice bullies that are sitting there poking it with a stick because you got some leftover equipment from Afghanistan. And now you think you're badass because you saw what we did with it 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, now we can do it. I'm like, no, you can't.
Yep.
Like all that shit that you think you're now super speed with, we retired. All of it. That shit is in DRMO shit all over the fucking nation. Yeah. We got rid of all of it. Like, we don't use any of this shit.
Yeah.
And we like Israel. So you know what we gave them?
Our shit.
All the same new shit. Yeah. Like,
like, remember that Iron Dome? Yeah.
Yeah. We built that.
Well, and now that
was $8 billion.
Have you seen now the Iron Beam?
Yeah. That's cool as shit.
That's dope, dude.
Badass.
Yeah. It's essentially just sea whizzes on the ground.
But I hate to tell you this. They didn't get those systems at Radio Shack.
No, they got them at Raytheon.
Yeah.
Yep, that shit's got Northrop Grumman written all down the side, bitch. Like, yep.
Fucking.
No, I think my personal opinion.
I think 2,000 years is fucking long enough. I said we end it.
My personal opinion is they just need to go fucking ham.
Yep.
Yeah. Scorched the fucking earth. Like it's going to be a humanitarian disaster, and I fucking apologize for that.
Well, but here's the deal. They know, Israel knows if they go to war, the rest of NATO goes like, oh, well, we got to back up our boy. Like, we can't, we're not going to throw the first punch. But if Israel comes out swinging,
But like, so everybody talks, humanitarian crisis. nobody relates a humanitarian crisis to terrorist organizations and the terror that they cause on civilians.
Yeah.
Like, when is somebody going to be like, you know what? That's wrong. And as the world, not as this country or as this group of people or my opinion, the world, we're done with it. We're done with you being a fucking bully.
Mhm.
We're done with you being a fucking asshole. And we're taking the gloves off now.
What grosses me out is all of the pro-Palestinian marches
my
and
God.
shit here in America.
Well,
Now,
And it's because it's out of fucking ignorance.
Well,
It's because these
that's
fucking kids
TikTok
don't
news.
understand.
but
that's TikTok news. And like,
Yeah.
well,
but
look how much Palestine has shrunk since 1948. And I'm like,
Palestine doesn't even exist. It's not
It's-
a real fucking place.
it's not, yeah, it's not.
Like, they named it that to piss
Real.
off the Jews. That's why they named it that.
now I support innocent civilians in any theater.
Yep.
Right. So, like, yes, there should be support for the innocents that are there, that are caught in between all the shit that's going on. But there's a very fine line between the handful of innocents
Mm-hmm.
and the people that support Hamas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Because
that's-
you can't
because
tell
there's-
me, oh,
there's-
there's people that are in the Gaza Strip that are fucking innocent. No, they're not. Not to me. No, they're not.
Define innocent.
Being non-complicit in terrorist organizations.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. There's so many people that are like, oh no, like Hamas is like 100 people.
Fucking false.
It's
That's
like,
a bold-faced lie.
In order for them to be on a national, like a worldwide terror watch list, in order for them to have the recognition that they have, like, they're sitting down with leaders of countries
Yeah.
in Qatar.
Yeah.
That's not the guy who's reining in 100 people.
No.
That's a tribe leader in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Like, they're not sitting down with the president. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, that's not how this works.
Right. Like the fucking leader of the Taliban is like the same thing. Like, and what is the Taliban doing right now? They're running Afghanistan.
By the way, I don't care what you're equipping them with. 100 people don't need, what was it? 6 billion
Yeah.
in funding?
Well, so that's another thing. That $6 billion it's funny because, like, oh, well, there's $6 billion. It's like, you understand they make like 40 to 50 billion a month in oil sales. Iran does.
Yeah, that 6 billion was nothing.
That's
And it was
$6
ours.
billion? But it's like it's
We actually
immaterial.
refroze it too. We didn't even release it to them.
But it doesn't even matter. It's
Like-
immaterial. Like, you think that a major oil producing country is having a money shortage, or $6 billion is going to cause them to invade a country or start a war?
Well, of course, Americans do, because Americans don't fucking understand geopolitical stances, man.
Like-
They don't understand the rest of the world. They live in the fear bubble.
But how much money have we sent to Ukraine? How much money did we spend per day?
We are
In
sending
the
$238 million a day to the Ukraine.
Yeah. So $6 billion is like a couple months.
What's our Ukrainian bill right now there, Justin?
Yeah, it's been, we have sent them, since the start of our interaction with them, it's been $238 million a day that we have sent.
Yeah. It's retarded.
Let's see here. Since the
70
war began, the Biden administration and U.S. Congress have directed more than $75 billion in assistance to Ukraine. $75 billion.
Yeah. So the $6 billion is
Hey, but we don't have the money to do anything about student loans.
Right?
You know-
Student loans. Oh, we can't do that. Or fucking get veterans appropriate care. Or the southern border fucking nightmare that's going on. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you people.
Any
man.
sort of infrastructure work.
like, ugh.
so the $6 billion to me is like whatever it was, the $500 that Black Rifle donated to Tulsi Gabbard, whatever the fuck that
Or
drama
that lost
was.
bet was.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, what even-
it doesn't,
it was
it's
the Hillary,
immaterial.
but
It
yeah.
doesn't fucking matter. Like,
Well, it
The-
doesn't
the
matter.
dollar amount doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to Iran. But that organization getting $6 billion is still $6 billion. As far as is it a drop in the bucket to a country like Iran? Sure,
Right.
you gave them fucking 2% of your national GDP.
yeah.
Okay. Like, yes, the country doesn't care. One, it matters that a country is willing to give an organization like that $6 billion.
For sure.
And two, 100 people don't need $6 billion.
No.
That is
But
that is nation shaping money.
Yeah,
Like that is
there's more than 100 people, and I guarantee you that they're getting more than $6 billion.
Dude, there was more
6
than
billion
100 people who assaulted.
Well, the 6 billion was claimed because it supposedly came from us.
Right.
That was the whole like, we did it with American money.
But like,
And
what
it's
do you
like,
think? What do you think 4,000 rockets cost?
Not 6 billion.
Not 6 billion.
Well, have you seen how they make some of those? Oh, it's amazing.
What do
It's
they do?
absolutely amazing. So they will literally dig up water pipes and then cut the water pipes, fill them with explosives or projectiles, take a warhead off of something else and weld it onto this fucking pipe, prop it up on a fucking triangle and launch that bitch.
Yep.
They have no idea where it's going to go, where it's going to blow up, what it's going to do.
It's
Nothing
no
like
different.
that.
It's no
a
different than
homemade
those.
That's because it's fucking
so
inshallah,
awesome.
dog.
It is so
Inshallah.
awesome, though.
It's the same thing as those I-beam rockets that they had in Iraq with the block of ice.
Yeah.
And it just went down till it
And
hit
it's the
that
same-
nail and it launched it.
And it's the same thing. They use blocks of ice as
Time
As
triggers,
time
man.
triggers.
Yep.
Yep.
So that way they're not there.
So when the counter battery hits,
I have said it
Yep.
for fucking years. If that part of the world would start putting that ingenuity into anything other than shitty terrorism,
oh my God.
they'd be unstoppable.
because all right, so have you ever watched like those like the shows, like the reality TV shows about jail?
Yeah.
And about how like they're like taking pencil lead and fucking gum wrappers and lighting cigarettes with it out of the fucking thing and shit like that, you know? Like that's fucking jailhouse ingenuity,
Mhm.
right? Picture a whole fucking culture that does that. Like these they're fucking aeronautical engineers if you
it's
gave
the
them the
Middle
right
East.
fucking point in the right direction.
The entire Middle East is anything you've ever seen MacGyver do. It's that on fucking just like cocaine. Like it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's so everything over, and you're just looking at it
It's like,
going
give me
like,
that butane lighter, no slip shoe, and a Simon video game from the 84.
yeah. And
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
build a bomb.
My
you see shit that you're just like,
and
I
it's-
have done some sketchy shit, and I look at some of that stuff and go, there's no fucking way. That never would have crossed
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
It,
but it's not just the Middle East. So we were in Nicaragua a couple months ago.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
it's the third world.
So we're in Nicaragua. We go to our box factory. We're working on some new designs, stuff like that. So we go to the box factory to talk with the guys like in person because there's a language barrier and it's a big barrier. And I see in the back of this room that we're in where they do all of their like screen printing and you know all the decorative shit that's on the boxes on the outside. And I look in the corner and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's this contraption, but rigged up on like a frame is a crankshaft from a V8,
okay.
2 pistons on rods.
Okay.
All the other ones were removed off.
So we've got a crankshaft, 2 connecting rods, and 2 pistons.
And 2 pistons.
Okay.
Right. And the pistons are in kind of guides. And there's a handle on one side. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I figure it out. That's what they use as a press to press the fucking prints because it's a camshaft. So it picks up the piston and then
And
pushes
puts it
it
back
down
down.
and presses it. So they have the adjustable base for the pressure. And then they have a crank. And then they just put fucking 2 at a time.
And it's going to be
Fucking
consistency every time.
Every fuck. And I was just like, somebody here was like, hey man, we need a press so we can make this. And this other dude's like, wait, I got a V8. I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Reduce,
You know?
reuse, recycle, dog.
It was awesome.
That is awesome.
So now every time I go there now, I'm like, I have to go in the room and I got to be like, yeah, still there.
I was in the
Get a
DR.
picture of it next time.
I will.
I'm curious.
I was in the DR on a cigar trip, and so in the capital, most of the cigar factories are on like the fringe of the capital because once you get outside of that, it's just the Wild West out there. But and the DR and Haiti share an island, and it's not a big island like
Sure.
it is.
Yeah.
So, but there is a mountain in the middle of the capital, and on the top is a place called Camp David, and it's one of the best hotels.
Yeah.
So we would stay there. Well, when you want to go out at night, you have to get a cab and come down. So if you're not with like your brand owner who's keeping a Tahoe or whatever down there and you want to go down on your own, you have to get a cab. The other thing is in all of those, any of the emerging world, third world countries, y'all know how it is. If you're not honking, you're not driving.
That's
like,
true.
it's
It's a form of communication.
Yeah.
But it's all the time.
But it can either be fuck you or excuse me.
Or hi.
or,
Yeah.
hey,
Or
dude.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like, and there's
Yeah.
all different beeps
Yeah.
for each one, and they all mean something different.
But
Yep.
you're always doing it. It's
Yep.
just like it's constant. So we got this cab and we're coming down this mountain in this cab. and you hear the brakes just screaming for dear life. And I'm like, this is how I die. There's no way we're getting down this mountain.
He's got a stick.
There's no way we're getting down this mountain. So we get to the bottom, and I'm like, cool. And I fucking get out of the car and I go around to pay the dude because all of those countries take American currency.
Sure.
And I look in the window, and there is a hole through the firewall, like through the floor pan part of the firewall or whatever. And there's no brake pedal. And it's literally a pressure valve that this dude, they'd cut the hole out, and because the brake assembly to go to the master cylinder underneath wasn't there, and he just had a pressure valve that he was pushing with his bare foot through the hole in the floor, controlling the brakes on this fucking car.
So it wasn't far off. There wasn't fucking stick.
Yeah, I was like, God
if it's
damn.
stupid and it works, it's not stupid.
But that's the thing is, it's like,
well,
we don't have a master cylinder. So if you don't know aware how your braking system works, you push a lever, it pressurizes a master cylinder. That equalizes the pressure to go to your braking system in your vehicle. Well, on older cars. Now we have
drum brakes.
Yeah.
Old
even
discs
disc brakes.
and stuff too.
Yeah.
Now we have all of this, it's all computer controlled because it'll disperse your braking and blah, blah, blah. Fuck, my motorcycle has the fucking dispersed braking now.
Right.
It's wild. But on these, and they were like, we can't replace the master cylinder, but you know what we can do? We can have another pressure valve that just controls the rear brakes so it doesn't fuck with your steering, so you're not locking up the front wheels, and it just pressurizes the rear brakes to drag this fucking car. I was like, good fucking God.
So
Hope you tipped him.
I tipped him and literally he was like, I give you my number to the pickup. And I was like, nope.
Nope, all set, dude.
Fucking walk back up that
You
mountain.
said pay the man, and it triggered a memory. So no shit.
Okay.
There we go.
So no shit. I was this has to be like 2001. I think I was at private E3 in the Army, and it was just after tax season. And so, when you're in E3 in the Army, you go to H&R Block or whatever the local fucking guy is right outside the gate, and they do your taxes on the spot. Takes like 30 minutes, and they hand you a check. And then you got to go find a local check cashing place, because nobody knows that they can just use a bank. But by the time you do this, it's usually after banking hours.
The old rapid refund.
Yep.
Well, it's because you had to work till 4:30.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember it was one of our guys in our platoon, O'Neill. I went with him because I had a vehicle. He didn't. He needed his taxes done and his check cashed. So I go with him, and we go to H&R Block. He gets his taxes done. He gets $1,100 back as a refund. Right. So they give him a check for $1,100. So we go down the street to the check cashing place.
It's a good refund for an E3.
Yeah, it's not bad. You got to talk into your mic though.
Yeah, sorry. It is a good refund for an E3.
Yeah.
That's way more than I ever got as an E3.
Yeah. But he was an E3 with a bunch of years in.
No, he was an
overachiever.
He was a special E3.
Yeah. He was an overachiever.
Who still didn't have a car.
No. Fuck no. Drugs. So most of the check cashing places we went to, they're like, yeah, sorry, we can't cash your check. Like, we just don't have the money. It's that time of year. Like, everyone's cashing their checks. We don't have any cash. So we found a spot. They're like, yeah, we'll cash it, but we only have ones.
So you got $1,100.
So you got $1,100 in ones, right?
Respect it.
And I happened to be wearing a jacket.
$100 wad is about an inch and a half.
No, it was like this, 1,000.
Oh, they were giving them in thousands?
Well, the total stack was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. It was a fucking hefty stack.
Nice.
And I had a jacket with an inside pocket. He just had a hoodie and jeans on. So he's like, hey, I need you to hold this for me. I don't have anywhere to put it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I had this fucking wad of cash in my jacket pocket. And so he's like, let me take you out to eat, for driving me around and doing all this stuff. I'm like, cool, man, let's go. And so we go to like this teppanyaki fucking Japanese steakhouse place, and it's like $100.
This is the most E3 shit ever.
Oh, right?
This fucking $1,100 is burning a hole in my pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go spend it all.
So it's like $100+ tab.
Let's take my buddy to a $200 fucking plate dinner.
And so we get done eating. We had a couple drinks too. We get done eating, and the waiter brings a tab, and so Neil gets a tab. He doesn't even look at it. He just slides it over to me, and he goes, Simons, pay the man. And I pull out this fucking wad of $1,100 in ones, and I just fucking on the fucking bar, and I start counting one at a time.
Just obnoxiously.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. They're like, what the fuck?
So all night, we probably spent $600 that night because it just turned into a thing. After that, paying for that, Simon's Pay the Man, it turned into things. So then we went to the bar. Simon's Pay the Man, fucking and start counting it up.
That's amazing.
Everything. It was so much fun.
The next time we go drinking, I'm going to say that.
You're going to let me know so I can bring one.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I haven't thought about that in years when you're like, so I paid the man. It was like click. I was like, oh,
That's awesome.
yeah.
What's going on with your catalog up here, man?
So we were supposed to record a podcast over the weekend, a cigar related podcast. We spun up a Warfighter tobacco podcast.
Yeah.
Only cigar related, industry related shit. We're going to have somebody else from the industry come on the show. The schedules didn't end up working out. And so we didn't end up recording on Saturday.
Nice.
But that was what we were going to smoke. And then we just got squirreled and left them on the table.
Probably put those back in the humidor.
They'll get smoked this week.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Fucking.
yeah.
Yeah, that is some straight PFC shit.
Straight up.
That's so
It
good.
was so fun.
Jazz, what's the most PFC shit you've ever seen?
Chastity's Gold Club, Charleston, South Carolina.
They're all married to PFCs.
So,
E4s.
so we got a weekend pass. Went to a buddy of mine who I had no idea this was part of his deal because he was very quiet about it and he kind of knew what was going to happen. So it was the first half of AIT. So you get through that and then you start getting weekend passes. And so we get the weekend pass and he goes, "Hey, we're going to Chastity's Gold Club in Charleston, South Carolina." And I was like, "Why?" Like, why? Why there? Like, and he was like, "I know the guy that owns it." And I was like, "All right, I'm sold." Like, that's
Let's go.
So we get there so we drive.
That is a wildly specific answer.
Yeah. It's like, okay. So we drive to this fucking, which we're not supposed to do because that's on the list of like, don't rent
It's
vehicles, don't
blacklisted.
drive vehicles, like that. Because we're still in TRADOC. So we're not supposed to be doing any of that, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So we get the weekend pass, go to Charleston, South Carolina, get to Chastity's Gold Club. Sure as the world, we walk up and the fucking doorman looks at him and fucking says his name and we were like, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
This is going to be awesome.
So we go in, people are waving to him and shit. And I'm like,
What are you, the fucking mayor?
I'm like, what? And this kid's like 22, 23. I'm like, you're not even old enough to like have a reputation in this place. Like, how the fuck?
Because you joined a
So
little
we get
later.
there-
So at this
yeah,
point, you're
I
probably
was-
25, 26.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I'm sitting there and, I'm a fucking E4. And I'm like, okay. And he's a PFC. And he's like, "You're not paying for anything." I was like, "Well, I make more than you and I make nothing. So how the fuck is this working?" And so we go where the dude comes out, shares the world, fucking knows him, and he's the owner. And he's like, "Come with me." Takes us up to the fucking like VIP little elevated area. Walks over, opens up a fucking wall safe, and pulls out 2 bank bags and hands them both to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he hands me one, and I opened it up, and it's like 3 bands of singles and like 2 bands of 5s. I was like, what the fuck? Like, can somebody explain some shit to me at this point? And his is like triple mine.
Yeah.
And so he starts paying for lap dances and ordering drinks and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, motherfucker, what the fuck is going on here? So it turns out his family were the people that founded Red Wing Shoes.
Oh.
Okay.
And he was a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
So
I know where you spent it.
Yeah. And so when he turned 18,
Invest. It's different. It's an investment.
well, when he turned 18,
Tomato.
his trust fund kicked in, and his was on a payment. Like, it wasn't like a hey, here's just a big fat account. It was like
Smart.
you
every
got it in a
month you
chunk.
get a
Yeah.
paycheck. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And so I was like, what the? So he's explaining this all to me. And I was like, okay, so now why the fuck are you in the Army?
Yeah.
It like what? And he was like, well, for the first 2 years that I had the trust fund, maybe it unlocked when he was 21 because he was 22 or 23 at the time. And we were in AIT. So it's not like, he was like, for the first 2 years I had the trust fund, everybody kept telling me like, well, now you have the trust fund. You're not going to do fuck all with your life. Like, you're not going to, like, you'll never do anything now. You're just going to live off your trust fund money. And he's like, so I got up on a Monday and said, fuck it, and walked into the recruiter's office and joined the Army to make everybody shut the fuck up.
Attaboy.
And I was like, fucking good reason. I was like, so this money? And he was like, oh, yeah. His uncle or something was the one that put up the money for this dude to open the strip club. So the family just had like a
Just have a line of credit at the
Just-
Titty bar.
yeah,
That's
so-
amazing.
It's like a revolving $5,000.
So, and I was like, yeah, but like, you didn't give him a card or like anything. And he's like, no, it's the owner's take from the tips. And then they take all those singles and they count them and reband them. And then that's what goes in there. And so when any of us come in, they just hand us the bet. And I was like, so it's the same money? Like, it's just, he's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, the only thing I pay for is booze. And I was like, okay. So we start drinking. I ask him how much he's worth, and
He's doing well.
he's not hurting.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
And then, so it gets better though. So he's a PFC at the time. And we're at AIT, and it's co-ed because I'm not a grunt. So there was females at our AIT, and he falls in love
Of course he does.
with one of the ones that are there. And I'm like, and right before graduation, they're like, we're going to get married so we can get the same duty station and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, did you tell her? He goes, of course, man, I love her. And I was like, whose idea was it to get married for the same duty station?
Yeah.
She goes, well, it was a mutual thing. I was like, so her.
So she
So
brought it
hers.
up.
And I'm like, so her. And I was like, yeah. And I was like,
Flash
Dude,
forward 2 years.
I was like,
half
dude-
of his money is in her
I
account.
was like, bro, you have to get a security clearance. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, do you know what part of getting a security clearance entails? He was like, no. And I was like, they're going to pull all your financial records.
Yep.
And when the U.S. Army finds out what you're worth,
You're not in the U.S. Army anymore.
they're going to kick you out.
Yeah, it's called drastic change of lifestyle, and you'll get adcept. Yeah,
I was like, they're going to deny you your clearance.
Yep.
Because your erratic behavior when you were financially stable of joining the U.S. military shows that you don't make sound decisions. And 2, the Army does not like to send rich kids to war.
No.
that's a poor man's game, dog.
And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah. But do you know what's going to happen to her? She's going to get a duty station. And he was like, well, if we're married. And I was like, she's going to have a rich husband that's
Yeah.
not in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And sure as the world, fast forward 18 months. And he was paying spousal maintenance, and she got stationed in like Fort Polk or some
that
shit. And he moved
sucks.
back to South Carolina. So,
Imagine that.
but yeah, that was the most PFC shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
just like,
it's like my boy Coasty Steve that you've heard the story
Yeah.
about. Coasty Steve, he wasn't allowed to have his trust fund until he did 4 years in the military, which is why he joined the Coast Guard. Right? Like,
I can respect that though. Or they go
I
like,
respect his dad for
hey,
it.
you're going to have, you'll
Like,
want for nothing.
Yeah.
But you at least got to go figure out what real work is.
Yeah. And that was kind of the, and I'm sure he did his fucking 4 years or whatever the minimum is in the Coast Guard and rolled. Right? Like,
Yeah, he might have. And I'm sure he also, wasn't strictly living on Coast Guard income.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm sure there was probably a
No,
lot
he
of
got a-
bank transfers and shit that were
he
happening.
got an allowance
Yeah.
type of thing. Like,
But one thing I will give that dude that, had all that fucking money, man, is he was in for the ride. Like, he signed a 6-year contract. Like, he was like,
I'm
I
doing
want
this.
everybody to shut the fuck up.
was he
right?
doing the same job as you?
Yeah. Which
So
is why
it
he
was-
had to get a security clearance.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're going to pull your financials, man. I was like, you probably could have done it. You probably could have done it if you
You could have hid that money in certain like CDs or something like that.
Not for security clearance.
Yeah.
Because what would happen is something would come back inconclusive. They need more information. They dig into it. They find it. It's really hard to hide money.
I tell you, I got speaking of security clearance. I got offered another contract to go over and do some hook and jab in the
In
green
Middle
zone.
East? In Iraq?
Yeah,
No shit.
I did.
Yeah.
to basically run the Ugandans at the fucking airport.
No thanks.
You ready for this laughable salary they offered me?
What?
$75K. I was like, get fucked. I was like, I'm not getting off the couch for less than $300 a day. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
I was like, it ain't happening. It was $75K a year. But, and here's why I almost took it, is they were willing to sponsor my clearance to reboot it.
Oh,
Which that might be worth it, right? It's just having the clearance again. But because I just had a secret when I got out, so my shit was only good for 10 years.
Yeah.
And from the time I did my my SF 86, yeah. So like I did that in like what?
Well, the secrets,
2006 or 2007.
The secrets last longer.
Yeah, they last for 10.
Yeah, the
And
TSs don't last.
TS is 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because originally I had a TS and then it dropped to a secret after 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I had to do another SF86 and then it.
I like how when we get clearances and stuff and like people hear that you have a security clearance and they're like, do you know shit? And I'm like, no. It allowed me to sit in a whole lot of fucking boring ass meetings.
Yeah, dude, it's
like,
not that cool.
I was like, yes, I know who shot Kennedy and there are aliens.
You should start fucking with me.
You don't find out shit.
That'd be good.
but now you have access to be able to get it on paper. Right. In reality, I still can't get to any of that shit.
There's a little thing called SCI that they put on the back of it.
Yep.
And SCI is it's compartmentalization. And so you can get read onto stuff if you were cleared to get read onto stuff. Just because I know the movies be like, well, I've got top clearance. And it's like,
oh, here, take a look at this.
Yeah.
Right
well,
this way,
in
sir.
that case, it's only you and Nicolas Cage that are allowed to see this book. Like,
well, it's like I was watching a documentary about presidents getting briefed on like Roswell and shit like that, right? And how like Clinton came out and was like, hey, look, if they recovered alien bodies, they're not telling me either.
I liked that interview that they did with him though, when they were asking him about like, because he was like, his chief of staff was like, he was a true believer. Well, so I tasked him with like, find out what the fuck is an Area 51. And he's like, what Area 51 is, and a lot of it is underground and all that kind of stuff, but it's where we test, like as he put it, our invisibility technology. And what he means is stealth.
Stealth. Yeah.
And that's where we test all that shit. And he was like, so yeah, it's incredibly secured. And if you don't need to know, you don't fucking know. And he's like, I'm the president. And they wouldn't tell me how this shit worked. Well, because you're only a president for 4 years.
You don't need to know how this works.
You don't need to know because you're going to leave and then it doesn't matter to you anymore. So you don't need to fucking know.
You need to know that you have the capability to do this. You don't need to know how this works.
Yeah. So
that's all you need to know.
But that's how all that stuff works. And so, but they were like, but he did that whole like, if we recovered aliens,
he's like, I tell you,
we couldn't find evidence of it.
Yeah,
there's got to be.
Well, Jimmy Carter was huge into fucking alien like theory and stuff, like tinfoil hat in the White House, man. Like he was like, I'm gonna fucking find out.
There's got to be some like 80-year-old dude that sits at a desk in like some top secret records room that knows fucking everything.
Probably,
you know what I mean? Like
the Library of Congress, National Archives.
He's like 19 floors underground.
Yeah, like he's never seen the sunlight in like 50 years.
Yeah,
like that's the only thing that his life entails is like guarding these records. And when somebody's like, "I need this," he goes and finds it.
It's him in one of those gray steel government issue desks.
Yes, there's just nothing on the desk.
It's that he's got one of those green lens lamps.
Yeah,
it's the only light in the room.
That is it.
And a red phone and a clipboard.
It's a room this big and it's just filing cabinets.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's where all the real secrets are. Yeah. And somebody's like, I need to know about this. And he's like,
I haven't looked at that file in 46 years.
There's like one door in his office and it goes to a small apartment that he lives in.
That's it.
He
That's
doesn't
this dude's
leave.
life.
He's got a clipboard that has a cover sheet on it. And underneath it, there's like 6 names. You're not one of these people.
What would it take to do that job?
What would it take?
Yeah.
Fucking Kennedy hired him in. That's the dude's been there since Kennedy.
Yeah.
Kennedy got schwacked. He's the only one that knows actually what happened.
Yeah.
And then everybody else since then is like, Yeah, this dude's
They're
running it.
trying to figure out like how they replace him, and they're like, it turns out we're actually not allowed. Like
Yeah.
it's just this guy. He's like he was an orphan.
No,
like he was handpicked to like,
Yeah, right.
this is just life now, kid.
the technology is there for somebody to live indefinitely, and he's the only person that they've applied it to.
Yeah.
That's it. That dude is never going to die, and he's just going to spend all of eternity guarding that small room.
He's
of
like
files.
85 years old,
Yeah.
but like he looks like he's 26.
It was 1946, and he and his parents left to play. And his parents got killed in an alley.
Yeah.
But it turns out they were poor, so he ended up in a box instead of becoming Batman.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. That's how easy it goes, man. Gods and clods.
Now he knows a whole lot of secret shit.
Right.
He's not allowed to tell anybody who he is.
Yeah, no, he can't leave.
But it sucks.
That's it. Like he knows everything, but he can't talk to anyone.
He's been
Can't
doing that
leave.
job since he was 8.
I want to be that guy's hospice nurse, man.
He's
Just
gonna
hear-
live forever. He
not,
doesn't
yeah.
need hospice.
Right? Someday. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in on this weird episode on a coffee
fucking
chat
all
of
over
Freedom
the
Friends
place.
podcast. God, we
We
were all
spent
over.
like 30 minutes talking about
This is what
food.
happens when we don't drink, man. So weird. Like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends.
Mhm.
It's a fun little podcast that we do here called the Freedom Friends. And check out our sponsors. They're all in the description below. 3 little things, boys. I'm going to raise my coffee for the first time. Cheers. And thanks for being my freedom friend. 3 little things. Pretty easy to do. Jazz, hit him with the first one.
Smoke on.
John?
Drink on.
And God damn it, kids.
Freedom to fuck on.
Later.